Okay, good afternoon. I'm out doing a little shooting with my Gillo GT riser, my Yucca Urig limbs. They're 35 pounds. I think the bow is actually set up at 30 pounds. Okay, I put a Jaeger high grip on that I had on one of my other risers. It fit, and I seem to like it. It's okay. The wood grip, don't get me wrong, the wood grip looks beautiful. I just think this fits my hand, the small and medium hand, a little better. Really almost the same. So we're going to do some shots at 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Put it together. I'm going to talk about string walking string walking, and we're going to talk about shooting Olympic style, and we're going to talk about string blur to get out further. But I'm a 3D shooter. I'm not changing my anchor. I shoot fine out to 35 yards and I'm happy with it. But as a little extra, I'm going to throw in how some people shoot and use the string blur to help them get on target, and they shoot under their jaw. Just a little warning, you can't shoot both. You either set the bow up and get used to one or get used to the other, all right? Because it's a big change. You either shoot the way you shoot for like 3D, or if you're gonna be shooting constantly 50 meters or 70 meters, you gotta adjust your setup for that and practice it, okay? So here we go. A couple of different things. This fits nice on the meaty part of my pad. I can hold it with my knuckles out like the natural. I just throw my hand out. You see that natural? All right, hold it like that. I could hold it without really torquing it, okay? If your arrows go to, if you're shooting on and all of a sudden your arrows go to the right, guaranteed. If you're right-handed, it's a bow torque, you're gripping the bow. If it goes to the left and you're shooting on, it's a pluck, and it's opposite for a lefty, okay? Make sure your anchor, whatever it is, I don't care what kind of anchor you have, elbow all the way back, right? You feel the back tension. I pull with my tricep, plug it about here, and I can really feel my back take over, and I use my back, and I come back and I touch the anchor, and my elbow's all the way back. You can't move it any further back, and I don't use back tension because of disc damage and nerve damage, but I feel the tension, and when I release, the tension's still there. I just keep my hand there. For any of you that are shooting back tension, I know you heard this a million times, but I'm going to do it one more time, just to be clear on what back tension is, okay? Some of you that want to shoot back tension like this here, what it is, it's a 30-degree, let me step up a little bit, move this arrows. It's a 30-degree downward wrap around, watch your elbow, of your elbow like this, all right? It's the best way I could explain it. If you were outside and you were tired and you're a little achy and you wanted to stretch and you went, see that downward, watch. See the elbow goes down, watch. See that? That's back tension. Your back, you're squeezing your back, you're expanding your chest, and the elbow is wrapping around as you go down. Because once you're all the way back, you really can't pull no more. The way to activate it is your back down, that downward, and that's it. I'm telling you, that's it, okay? And I'm not a guy that encourages big follow-through, even though some organizations want you to teach the kids that, because you go back a little bit and the arrow's gone and on the way to the target, okay? And I'd rather have you be that shooting machine, keeping your bow hand up on target and your hand against your face, whether you use back tension or static, keep it there, back tension, slide back. And I keep on mentioning this site, but if you go to World Archery and watch the Olympic shooters, when they shoot under their jaw and they come back, you can see their face ripple because they maintain that pressure along their jawline. Okay, enough talking. We're gonna just take a couple of fun shots. I'm gonna piece it together. You're gonna see me shoot close, learning how to shoot again under the jaw and using a string blur out to 40 yards, okay? Just for the hell of it. Just for a fun day, okay? So here we go, we're at 10 yards, let me make sure. 11 yards, go a little closer to the right. closer than I thought. Okay, we're at 10 yards now. We're going to go down 1.5 just to see. Okay, I go down 1.5 with the numbers on my Yoast tab. Put my nail there, slide my nail down, slide the tab down to my nail, put pressure, come back, I'm drawing level, and I'm bending to the target, okay? Okay, that's important when you shoot these targets. Draw level and bend down. If you're hunting, bow to the deer. A little target you shoot like a groundhog, bend, bow to the target, all right, to keep your form in line. Watch. See, keeps your elbow and your arm all in line, okay? All right, so take a look, quick. Okay, it's right there. In the X, we're gonna move back to 15. Okay, here we are at 15, and this is my Yoast tab. I love the Yoast tab. It's got 1/4 inch increments, what I believe, and that's great for string walking. You put your nail, you go down, you count. So like the bigger line's 1/4, so I go down to 1 1/4, put my nail and slide the tab back down to it, and then I pull an anchor. And I gotta be honest, I got like in the past couple of months, because I don't do it all the time, through word of mouth, people call me up and I come over and give them a lesson, or I make a string for them. And I got like 6 people hooked on traditional archery. And I start them sometimes with a glove, and then I show them, you know, gap shooting, and then I show them a tab and string walking. And I usually have 2 or 3 tabs that I buy from Yoast, and keep them in my bag and trim them up for them, because I let them try one of my extras, and they love it, all right? Because there's no gap. You put the point on, and all your measurements are in the back, all right? So that's my little shout out to Eric Yoast. I like his tabs, okay? Wish he'd give me a discount, I buy so many, but that's okay. So anyway, I still love your tabs. So here we are at 15. Going down 1 1/4, I put my nail there, sliding the tab down, coming back. Okay, there we are, 15, good enough. You saw my arm come down a little bit. It would have been a little higher if I just would have kept my arm up a second. But for the purpose of this video, I'm pretty much on. I know my numbers. And it's good for me to show you that I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. All right, let's go down to 20 and see what happens at 20. Okay, once I get the yardage, let's see. Okay, with 20, I'm going to do 3/4. Let's see what happens. These were the initial numbers I got. And sometimes you could change them. 3/4. Okay, it's good. Okay, I'm going to stop this, get my arrows, and because I'm going to shoot at the 25 and 30 next, okay? Okay, I'm at 20, I pulled my arrows, something I want to show you. I took a shot at 20, and it went to the right. And I'm saying, thought I did everything right. Look, huh? It's another reason why I really like shooting off the shelf. The plunger is a little loose. So I moved it out a little bit. I'm going to take a shot at 20, and I'm glad I have video at 25, 30, 35 to splice in. But because tomorrow I'll have to come out and retune it. It's very hot today. So I'm just going to show you, take a shot at 20, 3/4. I believe it's going to be left to right. It's going to be pretty good the way I screwed it back in. But it has to be adjusted now and retightened and rechecked, and you know, it's another thing that why you always love shooting off the shelf. Things happen. So here we go. Gonna hook 3/4 down. Okay. Move the nail down. And I'm gonna breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, shoulders down. Relax, try to relax after that happened. Okay. Okay, right there, okay. We'll go down and get it. And like I said, I just guessed where it had to go. You know, we got it in the X. I'm going to go in and try and tighten it up. But, you know, hopefully I'll be able to tighten it where it is. But it's just another nightmare and in archery shooting, okay, is check your equipment, whatever you have on it. And this is just really a rest and a plunger. Make sure they're snug. Okay, so splicing the rest of the video. Watch it to the end. There'll be some interesting video ahead of string blur and 40-yard shots. Okay, I'm out here with the Gillo GT. Okay, I put a Jaeger grip that I had on. It fit. I just want to see if I shoot a little differently with it. I ordered a bare bow gauge, 12.2 centimeter gauge with other gauges, you know, for arrow thickness and all. Couldn't believe the price. I couldn't find it any cheaper. I found it for it came out to like $54 with the $8 shipping from Lancaster. Really crazy price, but I figured let me buy it so I could check everything. I have a weight for the front that's coming, okay, a bare bow weight that's coming for the front, but I found this in my archery box, and I doubt that 12.2 ring will fit over it, but it might. You might be able to get it over it, you know. But let me hold on to the stand. Even though it's like a hurricane out here today, I'm going to take some, you know, shots at 25 and 30, and I really want to get all the way out to 50 meters with this bow setup, and I want to be able to get out there and start explaining. The long range, I'm gonna shoot with my anchor underneath my jaw, you know, tip of the nose. I'm gonna try, and I want to try and get out there 50 meters or more at some point. I don't think today with the wind is going to be the day, but let me take a couple of shots at 25. I just want to hit the deer target with the bag, and then maybe get 30 and further back. All right. Okay, try to be a shooting machine. I went down a 1/2 inch, and that's perfect. Okay, so sometimes it's good to be lucky besides being good. And now I'm going to go back to shut this off, get my arrow, and we're going to go back to 30 and see what we could do. With my setup at the 30 whatever pounds it is, because I goosed it up a little bit, I went down a 1/2 inch at 25, so let me shut off, get the arrow, we'll go to 30. Okay, here we are. We're at 30 yards, and I'm going to try 1/4 inch. And let's see how it flies. Wow. 30 yards, 1/4 inch. Absolutely perfect. Can't ask for any better than that. Especially in these crazy winds today. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to 35 and see what happens. Let me get my arrow. Okay, here we are at 35 yards, and I'm going to try right under the knock. But the problem with these ultralight arrows and lightweight bows, at some point, which could be 35 yards, they really lose energy and drop. But I'm going to try right under the knock and see what happens. Just a hair low, but left to right was perfect. So there's different things I could do. At 35 yards, I have to visualize a soda can on top of the X and try and shoot the soda can because it's like a soda can low from right under the knock, okay? And so let's try that, see what happens. And then the other thing is, the further I go back, I may change anchor points to see if I can get a little more trajectory. So let's take another one and see what happens. Right under the knock, soda can high. Okay, that did it. That's soda can high, put it right where I want it to be. Okay, now, just to try something that we're here at 35 yards, instead of touching the top finger, the corner of my mouth, right here on this gum line, you can feel your gums. I'm going to slide my top finger along here and anchor with my elbow all the way back. Where it stops, all the way back, that's the anchor point. And I'm going to see if I can go under the knock with that different anchor point and go point on at 35. Let's see. Okay, let me do it again. Could have been a bad release, a little weird having that anchor point. It went a little high left. Let's try it again. Yes, it's very high. So let me try 1/4 of an inch with that anchor point there. See, this is what you have to do. You have to trial and error to see what happens. So 35 yards, different anchor, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that works. 1/4 of an inch, 35 yards works. It was just a little to the right. And again, it's really super hot out today. So it could be me. But I like the idea that if I go a soda can higher in my head at 35 yards than the X, I'll put it right in there. So that's the end of this today, because I'm starting to sweat like crazy. It's really warm. Like I said, big storms coming in, it's windy. I'm very happy with the results. The arrows are flying left to right good. And what happened was, I noticed before I went and took my 20-yard measurements from 10, 15, and I went to 20, the arrow was shooting a little bit left, like as if the arrow spine was a little stiff moving left. So what I did was, I didn't turn the plunger, move the plunger. I loosened the tension screw on this. And when I loosened the tension screw, I did like a turn or so, or maybe less, maybe a half a turn, and tightened it. And then I started shooting, and that made the arrows fly straight. The pressure on the plunger button, I was able to correct that little bit of a spine issue. Appeared to be a little stiff, weakening it up, move the impact over, and look, I'm out to 35 yards, doing pretty good. All right, I'm gonna add to this another day, and we're gonna change anchors and practice. I'm gonna try and get out to 50 meters. But that's it for today. 25, ½ inch, 30 was 1/4, and 35 is right under the knock, soda can high. All right? Well, to be continued. Well, I'm a 3D person, and I don't like really shooting at 20-yard target faces, like, 18-meter, 20-yard target faces, because I get bored. I just find it boring. I would rather walk around the woods and shoot at 3D targets. That's why I have the 3D targets set up in my yard. I do want to just play around with this, okay? I'm not a 50-meter person by any means, could I be? Yeah, I guess, but what I'm going to do today is play around. And this bow setup, when I go out to 35 yards, my technique is the point on is between 30 and 35, and these arrows, it's only 30 pounds limbs, these Yucca 100% carbon limbs, and these light arrows I have, these gold tip light Entrada arrows, they lose gas. So like I said, I'm really happy with my setup, that I know I could shoot pretty accurately out to 35 yards at 3D targets. I do want to play around and just go as far back as I can. Now, in order to do that, I've got to change the anchor point. And what I'm going to try today to do is shoot a little bit like an Olympic anchor point, where you draw back and you go underneath your jaw, and the string should lay here in the tip of your nose, and then kind of look at where the arrow point is. And I'm at 10 yards. And when you lower the anchor point from here to under here, that arrow tip point on will be very far back. I have to aim low to make sure I hit the bag here. I'm going to aim at the bottom of the deer when I first try it to see if I can get somewhere in that bag target. Okay, that's what I'm going to do now. But the other interesting thing is I can't really go from my normal all the way back, top finger to the corner of my mouth, thumb under my jaw, I can't go from that to here and expect the right to left impacts be the same, because they're not going to be. If you look at it this way, from here to here, it's an incredible angle, and here is away from my face, here is closer. Okay, so, but I'm going to take a shot at the bag. I'm going to look at the center of the bag, the 10 ring in the bag target, and I'm going to aim below the deer target, 3 under. 3 under with along my jaw, like an Olympic style shoot, and I'm going to see where it flies, just for the fun of it. And depending on this little experiment I'm going to do with you, I'm going to add it on to the video of me shooting out to 35 yards. It's just to see the difference, how much it impacts right to left. And the other thing is, I'm going to try, if it works out, explain to you some of these guys that shoot lower, when they're looking at the target and they see the tip of the arrow, they can kind of look at the string and see the string like blurry. They're focusing downrange, but they can see the string blur. Now, you don't really adjust the string blur. Wherever your point on is in your back and you're impacting, you glance at the string. This is the way I look at it. We glance at the string, and wherever the string lays in the blur. Okay, so let's say you look at it and the string blurs here or here or here. Wherever, it could be even on your plunger, wherever it is that it lines up, it's just an extra reference point to be accurate when you're going back 50, 70 meters, okay? So I'm going to shut this off, okay, just so I can edit things in. I'm going to get it aligned so hopefully you can see me shoot. I'm going to shoot with an anchor here, the tip of my nose, and see if it works out. I'll tell you if it works out. You'll see it. All right, I'm going to shut it off and align the camera. Okay, the bag target is 15 yards. I'm going to see how I align the string. I'm going for the chin, the tip of the nose, and look at the arrow and underneath. But I don't know how it's going to work out. So you're doing this with me. Let's see. Okay, let's go down and look, just to show you. I did align it here, the tip of my nose. What I did was covered the tip of the arrow with the string. So the tip of the arrow was in line center shot with the string. And we're gonna go look, and I'm gonna show you. Okay, I told you it's going to be crazy high. When you switch to that under the jaw, I was actually aiming maybe a soda can below. Here's the 10 ring. I was aiming a soda can below. There was a space. So that flew, I don't know how far, 4.5 yards, 4.5 feet high. And it went over probably a foot to the right, okay? So we're going to shoot a couple times more just to see what I can do to correct this, all right? Maybe not hide the arrow, maybe look at a string blur, and maybe the string blur will put the point of the arrow over to the left. And we're going to just check it out and see if I can get anywhere near at least having it move over, and I'll tell you exactly how I get it to move over if I do. And then we're going to try shooting further, all right? We're going to try shooting way out there. Give it a shot. Okay, this is just, once again, this is just for fun. I'm going to shoot that tip of my nose right here along the line of my chin underneath. And I'm going to see if I can use the string blur for my right to left. And the point is still going to be low. I'm going to have to go lower. Matter of fact, what I might do, I think I'm going to do is string walk 1.5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 on my Yoast tab. Slide the tab down to my nail, which is 1.5 inches. And let's see what happens. I'm still going to shoot the bottom of the deer. The string blur. Okay, the string blur I put on the edge of the riser, and it seemed to move it over. So let me just try messing around with that one more time, because I want to make sure it was something I didn't rush. All right, we're just playing around here. And instead of going down 1.5 inches, I'm trying to hit that center. I'm going to go down 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. Put my nail there. Slide the tab down. Tip of the nose. Okay, it went up a little bit. And it's really hard for me to get used to that string blur. I'm going to show you what. On the camera now, I'm going to try and show you before I shoot what the string blur looks like I'm talking about. So, see if we could do it. So anyway, as I'm looking down, you could look down, right? Let me see if you can see it this way. The arrow is hit in line. Well, if I move the string over to the back of the riser, it's moving the point to the left. And if I align that string to the left of the riser, it'll move the impact over, okay? Right or wrong way you're doing it, it's just something I'm showing you so you can see the picture of a string blur. What I'm gonna do is go down 1 inch now, 1 inch, and see what happens. You know, I'm gonna stick to the 1.25 inches. Okay, 1.25 inches with that. Kind of crazy, right? That this kind of works. 1.25 inches with the string laying on the edge of this riser here, so the point is actually this way, and trying to put the point on. 1.25 inches focusing. I got it up there into the into that 10 ring. So now we're going to try and see and hope we don't lose an arrow. I'm going to just mess around and go to 40 meters or 40 yards. I'll go to 40 yards and play with this, and we'll see what happens. I like to go out a little further, not because I'm going to shoot it or go to any competitions. Just want to see if I can do it. That's all right? So let me get these arrows. So let me walk down first so you can see them. Hopefully the camera don't fall off again. And what I may do this time is, instead of having the string blur on this edge, I'll have it on this edge. We'll further move the point to the left. So instead of this edge, I'll have it on this edge, or the outside edge. All right, let's go to 40 yards and see if I can lose a couple arrows in my lawn. You can see them now, right? Okay, here we are, 40 yards, okay? And hopefully I don't lose any arrows. And what I'm gonna do is go down 1/2 inch just to see. I'm just gonna put the center of the point, the height of the center of that bag target. I'm gonna try to string blur on this outer edge to move the point over. So let's try, make sure we got 40 yards just for the heck of it. 41, 40, see what happens. I'm gonna go down 1/2 inch. Oh my God. I guess 1/2 inch is not enough, okay? But look at right to left, it ain't bad. I stuck the arrow in the top of the wood frame. So here we go, we're gonna go down 2 inches. Instead of 1/2 inch, we're going down 2 inches. See, I like playing around. I think this is cool, hit or miss, showing you guys what I'm doing, what happens. You know, it's kind of a fun day. So we're gonna go down 2 inches. The tip is gonna be the height of the center, okay? And the string blur, that alignment, when I come back, I'm gonna make sure it's on the outer edge of the riser. That deserves another one. That went low. Okay, that deserves another one. I could have dropped my arm. It's so weird. I haven't shot Olympic style. Let me see. 22 years? Okay, that's how long it's been probably. Let's give it another shot. I'm going to go down 1 1/4 inches. That crazy string blur out to the left. Okay, so that was the 1.25 inch, string blur to the outside, okay, 40 yards. I'm not going to shoot this, I just want to know how it was. and I successfully did that. Let's go check it out. I'm just adding this on to my little Gillo chute. Okay, so let's go take a look. Okay, my trial and error. You see the one on the bottom, right? On the bottom of the bag, almost in the dirt. And then let's go a little closer so you can see. See the top one is in the top of the wood. And let's see, I'll give you a little lesson on how to take an arrow out of the wood. You grab it close and make sure you hold it tight close and give little wiggles. Circle, circle, circle. And it comes out. Sometimes you leave the tip in to save the arrow. Okay, that wasn't bad, right? Playing around. All right, thanks for watching me. I'll shut this off and pull the one out of the dirt. And you can watch the complete video as I piece it together. It took a few days. It's been really hot. I'm sweating like crazy now. I got to splice in a few segments. I think I have to redo just to take it because I don't think I recorded it. We'll go at 10, 15, and 20 and then put the rest of them together. All right. Since this is the end of the video, I hope my videos help you. Hope you have fun watching me, and subscribe and get out and shoot. Every day that you wake up is a good day. Be grateful, be happy, make the best of it.